Hello, everybody. It's nice to see you back again. And we have another exciting interview today with Jemma Burgess. And she's the founder and the creative designer and director of Hope on Prescription. I love that idea. So welcome, Jemma. We've spoken before. How are you getting on with your Hope on Prescription? Because last time I spoke to you, you were on the radio.
Yes, goodness me. And wow, time flies, doesn't it? It only feels like yesterday that we had a chat, but it also, looking back at it, it was like, oh, what, a year ago now, or if not more than a year ago now.
Could be a little bit more, yeah.
Time goes very fast.
So what's been happening for you then?
So Hope on Prescription over the last year has developed incredibly, better than I could have even imagined, actually, Victoria. So I think the last time I checked in with you was when I was telling you that I had all of these great ideas, but I needed to get funding for it. Am I right?
That's right. I mean, it was mainly about the difficulty for charities and non-profits to get funding, especially at the moment. So what's the score there? How's it going?
Absolutely. So I set on a mission to try and get as much funding as I possibly could to make the Hope on Prescription project happen. So we framed the project to be called Writing for Wellbeing, where we wanted the workshops to go into school environments, into the local hospital, and also into the community. So there were several layers of the project that were all going to come together to celebrate at the one-day festival Where the Light Begins, which was originally called Festival of Hope. But through creative process, we decided to go with Where the Light Begins. So we put in applications to the Arts Council, we put in applications to Kent County Council, to the Baton of Hope UK, to local businesses. And we just said, this is the project idea. We want to go around inspiring hope through creative writing to show people that these can be fantastic tools of self-expression. They can help you build your confidence. They can help you build resilience. They can just generally be a fantastic tool to express yourself, to bring joy, and to connect you back with the community. So I often feel like the community vibe has sort of over the years slowly started to fade away. We're all on our phones. We're all sort of in our own busy worlds, which is just the way life is heading. But something very important that we are missing is play, is connection, is getting creative and expressing yourself. So this is what the project was all about for me. And I pushed and pushed, and I'm really pleased to say we were successful in 90% of the funding applications. We had the National Lottery Arts Council England, we had Kent County Council, the Baton of Hope, we had Stone Pharmacy, property renovations, we had Co-op. Like we had so many incredible people that wanted to back this project because they could see how great it would be for the community as well. So went on the mission. Once I got all the funding, the project began, and it was a very intense project, Victoria, because we had just 3 months to execute every layer of the project. And as I said to you last time, I'm the woman wearing every hat.
Well, you're a mum, you're a family woman as well. You know, I know your life isn't just straightforward, is it?
No, it definitely wasn't. There was a lot of balancing and a lot of juggling, but I do have to say I had a fantastic group of mentors. So just to give them a bit of recognition now, because without them, I wouldn't have learned and grown as much as I have across this year. So we've got Beth Kowenko, who ran Wise Words Festival in Canterbury. She was my main mentor. She was my lifeline. She was the woman with all of the knowledge that helped us grow. We've got Doug Noble. He was from Live Music Now, and he's helped me do all the evaluation stages so that we can go back to funders again. And Victoria Field, poetry therapist, absolute wonderful woman, and she helped me design the workshops and helped me understand how to deal with certain situations and help certain people through creative remedies. And each and every single one of these mentors have had such a key part to my project. So although I wore all the hats, I had these incredible mentors showing me exactly how to wear those hats.
Good. We all need help, don't we? We all need help and inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, so it takes a team. It really takes a team.
It's a bit of an emotional roller coaster, isn't it? you know, because
Mm,
if when you're on your own, I think you felt like that before, and it's
mhm.
good for you to have that support.
Absolutely. I mean, I won't lie. You know, I woke up some days where I was ready to go, excited, jump out of the bed. I've got this. Like, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly where I need to be. And then there was days where I would wake up feeling really sick to my stomach. Like I was anxious. I felt like I was struggling with imposter syndrome. I felt like who am I to run a well-being thing when I don't really know most days how to keep my own well-being on the go. And you do it, and you sit there and you run yourself down sometimes, but when you have the mentors and the support, they pull you out of that. And I generally think from the amount of experience and people that I've spoken to across the year, we all go through it. We all go through a massive, like, yes, I've got this, and then a massive dip of, oh my God, what is happening? Where am I going to be? Like, what do I do? But I think the main thing that I've learned is to just trust your gut and take that risk anyway. So taking the risk is going to be where you learn your lessons. It's going to be where you grow and where you develop. And yes, you are going to have days where you're waking up and you're questioning your entire life. I think you do that even in the things that you love, you know, because I love this work. So I was like, why am I questioning myself? I love this. I'm passionate about this. I know these tools work through lived experience, through workshops, through feedback, but you still get that sort of niggle and that nerves. But I think definitely just push through, perseverance. I read this quote the other day. So I remember being a week before Where the Light Begins festival,
Okay.
and I just broke down in tears, Victoria. I was so nervous. I was so like almost stressed. For me, I felt like I was at breaking point. I was like, oh my gosh, like I've done all of these things in such a short period of time. I just can't go anymore. I'm tired, you know.
Mm.
But I read this quote and it said, success is the very next step from defeat. So, what I read from that is when you feel defeated, you just got to take a few more steps and you're going to get to that success. And actually, that is what happened for me because I felt that defeat the week before. I was like, can't do this anymore. And then the festival came, we done it, and we didn't just do it, we done it beautifully. Like, how it looked, how the audience felt, the feedback and response from the artists, from the audience, from members of the public just passing through. It was just such a magical day full of hope and inspiration and connecting us as a community, bringing us into that beautiful space, that shared space together. It
So,
makes the hard days worth it. Do you know what I mean?
well, it's resilience, isn't it? Which is what you're trying to teach, and it is that last step when you think it's all over. It's just do
Yeah.
one step towards it again. But what
Yeah.
was the feedback then? I mean, what are people getting from your work?
Absolutely. I mean, I was very lucky to have a big selection of feedback. We had people feedback in from schools. We had the kids saying that they was really excited, like they've explored poetry in a new way, that it was
Mhm.
fun, that they could see that it was a good tool for self-expression. Also, that the barriers around poetry being quite complicated and the language and the structure, they feel like we took that away because we said, well, actually anything can be poetry. We were just opening up their minds to the
Yeah.
writing process more than the structural side of things. And we was teaching them it's okay, like don't judge yourself, like get whatever it is that's coming to your mind. This is your expression, so that means there's no right or wrong. It's what you feel in response to that. And you could see that it was empowering the kids. I mean, some of the girls in all of the girls in the secondary school, they created pieces that moved the audience. They had their voice. They shared those things that they feel like they're struggling with in society today. I mean, the theme was around
Mm.
hope. And one of the girls said to me, how do you expect me to find hope in a world that feels so frustrating? And I said, so write about that. So tell me about that. People need to hear that these teenagers are worried about finding hope because of the uncertainty of the world. I was
Mm.
like, you could be that voice. And you know what? She went on to write and perform a fantastic poem. And this was what's so beautiful is the whole process. It wasn't just the performance of it all, it was the process of it that
Mm.
they've come back and told me, you know, this is great. We love poetry now. Like it's a great tool to use. And then when you went to the festival, we was getting feedback of it's such an inspiring event. Oh, we hope it comes back next
Yeah,
year. It was
yeah.
really nice to have the opportunity to have these renowned poets come to Dartford. Dartford Living magazine actually put it in the magazine of Dartford's first ever poetry festival.
Wow, brilliant.
So
Yeah,
I was just, when I read that, Victoria, I was like, oh my God, this is
yeah.
amazing.
And so what are your steps towards repeating that then? Because you just said, oh, you're going to do it again next year. Is this something
Mm.
that's feasible?
It is if I can get funding. So it's back to that loop. When we very first spoke, it was that I have all the ideas. I just need to make it happen. But the difference now is, Victoria, is when I had all the ideas before, I had to just convince people to trust me that this was going to be good. I
Yeah.
had to just tell them, this is what I know. This is what I've researched. This is what I plan to do. Please believe me that this is what the community want and need. Whereas now I've got the evidence, I've got
That's right.
people's voices saying, we want this back. This has been beneficial. I mean, we had one of the case studies from the girls at the Community Writing for Wellbeing workshop. She said, because I always say to them, what Victoria advised me to say, this is not therapy, but it's therapeutic. And this girl actually said to me, she was like, I do therapy and I do this writing workshop every week. And she said, I come away feeling more healed and heard after my Writing for Wellbeing workshop than I did my therapy. Now, that's not me saying don't go to therapy, because everybody may need that in retrospect, but it's also me saying open your mind to the possibility of creativity being a form of healing,
I
of a
think what
form of
you've done there, though, Gemma, is you touched on the feeling of being heard, and that's speaking out. I mean, I've got books of my poetry when I was young, and I never shared it with anybody. I've shared it with my daughters, and it's there as a family heirloom. But I
Mm,
never shared it with anyone, and I think that's important because when you it validates your feelings, doesn't it? My feelings were very private and locked in, my views
mm,
and that. And what you're giving people is the opportunity to share it in a group or share it on a platform, which
yeah.
is finding your voice, and the confidence comes with that. And as you say, they then get the evidence themselves that they are able to be heard, just as you get the evidence for your future funding, they're getting
Yeah.
back in evidence. So I think it's amazing what you're doing, and people don't get it, do they? When they first hear it, they don't understand what you're doing.
No, no. I mean, we've had people come in and go, "Oh, you won't get me writing. You won't see me write. Like this isn't something that I do." And I say, "Well, I just challenge you to just try the exercise and see what happens. If you don't leave here with any type of writing today, fine. We've welcomed you in. It's nice to see you. But if you do leave, then you'll surprise yourself. And I tell you now, they surprise themselves because
Yeah.
they write something and they go, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I had that inside of me to say that. Or,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I've wrote my first ever poem. And
Mm.
I mean, we had some people say to me that, and they've actually gone away, bought their own notebook, and now they write all the time. So
Mm.
it's just that wonderful way of opening people's minds to doing things like this. And I know that there are tons of incredible projects and things that are going. But the sad thing is, at the moment, when it comes to creative health, is we're only funded for short periods of time to do these projects. So it's quite sad that something will come around and it will be amazing. People love it. And then it gets taken away. So
Quite
what I'm trying
competitive, isn't it? The need for for funding is quite
it
competitive.
is. It
Um,
really is. Yeah.
yeah, it's a
It is
shame
a
when you
challenge.
get something
Yeah.
started, though, not to at least run with it for a period of time where you can see lives change. I mean, you can see immediate
Yeah.
change, but you want to see lives change. And for you
Well,
then to
this
take
is it.
it
It's
forward.
not just short term, is it? This is
Mm,
something that can help people throughout their life.
mm,
So I'm actually pushing now. We're going to, once, as soon as we're out of the evaluation stage, because we're still in the evaluation stage at the moment, but over the next few weeks, that's going to be complete. And then it's going to be the case of going back out again, go to the funders that I've been funded to before and see whether they would be willing to do a more longer term project. So instead of it being 3 months, we want to go for it to be 6 months this time. Because the more work that we do, the more people that we can reach, the more community that we build. And it's just such important work, Victoria.
Do you know what I like though? I like the fact that it's cheap. It crushes all the barriers between employed, unemployed, single mums, people on disability benefits, to the wealthy and the rich and the people that have got time to buy a beautiful book. You can write it in a book from the co-op. You know, the point is all you need is pen or pencil and paper, and the desire to express yourself, hopefully to go to a group where you can be heard. But it is one of the cheapest, most accessible forms of creativity that you can do, and you don't have to go and invest in a load of equipment.
No, do it on the back of a napkin. Yes. I've done that before. I've had a creative poem idea and I wrote it on the back of a napkin or on my hand until I've got. I mean, it's not good to write on your
all
skin,
the way up
but
your
I've
arm.
done it. Yeah, all the way up my arm. But this is it. If you've got a pen. I mean, I wrote a poem recently, and I said, you know, like this isn't a pen. This is my medicine, because it is. It is my medicine. It's what I use to help brain dump whatever's been going. My brain goes at 1,000,000 miles an hour per day. I'm jumping between this thing, and to be able to stop at the end of the day and to get all of that out, and then there's something really powerful about reading it back. Because it's almost like you get a bit of a separation from what you've just said, and it often you can catch yourself saying quite nasty things to yourself, and you think, oh my God, have I been saying this? Like, would you say this to your best friend? Would you say this to your child? No, you wouldn't. So then you start reframing the way that you talk to yourself as well. Like, and that is hugely important, because you need to learn to be your own cheerleader, especially on the days that are really hard. You do need to learn to be able to go, but look how far you've come. Look at what you've already achieved. On those days that you're doubting yourself, you then look back and go, oh, but I completed that course, or I did that. I even got in the room for 5 minutes. That might be somebody's progress as well, because I had somebody say to me that they go to groups, but they're in there for 5-10 minutes and they leave because they're too anxious or they don't feel comfortable. And this girl, she sat in our group and she stayed till the end. And her mother actually pulled me to the side at the end and she went, nobody has ever got my daughter to stay in a workship from beginning till end.
That's amazing.
And she comes every week. Every week without a fail, she is there, and she is an incredible girl. And do you know what? If you're listening to this now, I know that you know this is about you, and you are amazing. And each and every single one of those people that I've met in those rooms are incredible people, and I just encourage them all to continue writing. And I encourage people that are new to this, I welcome you, come along. Like, we've got workshops that are happening. We have some that are free, we have some that are charged because we have to cover the cost of the whole. That is purely the reason. Otherwise I would do everything for free. I've said this so many times that this work shouldn't be something that people feel they can't connect with because of finances. So we have free stuff happening for people that might need to do that. We also have some paid regular workshops. But again, I'm always on the hunt for funders, for supporters, sponsors, partnerships to help make this happen for people, so they take away those barriers, like you said, stopping people from not being able to come and actually empowering them to be able to come no matter what your background is.
Yeah, I think you've also touched on something inside, which is that the idea of hope. So it's a very personal thing, but as that girl you were talking about said, there is no hope when you're constantly fed all this negativity in the world. But what I'm picking up from this is there's two types of things where you're offloading and you can recognize what you're really about. You're hearing your own voice by writing it down. You're realizing who you really are. But on the creative side, when do we get to create? Because when you go on the internet and you go on the television and you're talking with your friends and it's all gossip and work, or you're just focused on work and then you go home and you focus on family, it's very difficult to go inside. And yet that's a powerful creative tool, like you said. And I just think, what a wonderful way for people to break away from all this negativity and find hope in creativity, like you're giving them that doorway to do that. It's very, very powerful in this day and age when everyone is just being spoon-fed and not actually looking inside and not knowing why they feel so lacking in hope. So I think it's wonderful what you're doing. So how do you want people to contact you if they've got some funding they'd like to offer you, or how could a small business, for example, envisage how they could help you? What can people do for you?
Absolutely. So there are several ways. I mean, you can get in touch by dropping me an email at info@hopeonprescription.co.uk, or you could go over to our website, www.hopeonprescription.co.uk. And there is actually a donate now option where you can go in and you can just donate some money. It goes into a PayPal account and then pings over to us. This then allows us to run regular more events. Obviously, we're going back for the bigger project. So anything that we can raise at the moment will be going towards the 10% that we have to find in order to apply to Arts Council. Okay. So, and I want to sort of emphasize, yes, of course, like these projects cost a lot of money, but even if you had £5, that £5 makes a difference. It really, really does make a difference. What I noticed recently over the course of the festival is we opened up for donations and we said, you know, it could be as little as 5p or it could be as much as you like, and that's okay because it all adds to it and it also helps people feel a part of it. And again, it doesn't matter how small, because often it is the small things in life that help us. Naturally, yes, we need to raise the bigger money to make these events happen, but every little bit helps. I feel like a Tesco's advert now. Every little helps.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, you know, there's a lot of business people that come onto my channel. There's a lot of people who look at my channel, and they often invest in charity and non-profit organisations. So it's just getting them to respond. The other thing is, so what's your plan? You want to repeat what you've done, but how do you want to get this further afield? Do you want to go into more schools, or do you want to go into different towns? What would you like?
So at the moment we are looking at expanding, but I think for phase 2 what we want to do is we want to expand the length of time that we have within our community here in Dartford. Because the festival is here in Dartford, it's a really lovely way to start building that community connection here. But that doesn't mean to say that these things aren't happening elsewhere. I have gone to Canterbury and I've run workshops with Sunrose Festival, and because I want to spread the message of how important this is, and I want to go as far as I can. But for the Pacific project, we are Dartford based. We are focusing on Dartford based for phase 2. It may be that phase 2 is successful for a longer period of time, and then we go, okay, well, next year let's now go to one school in a different town and start to build on it. But I think something that's very important is often with creative directors, we have such an array of ideas and visions that we can go right out there and be like, I want to conquer the world. But sometimes it is about just drawing it back and starting with your neighbor and going, you know, let's get together, let's do that, let's go for a coffee, let's have a chat about how we could do something for our community, let's bake some cakes to take round to a thing. It's the little things to restore the community again. So yeah, it is very, very Dartford based, but that doesn't mean to say that I don't want to expand. And I don't say if we have a catch up in a year's time, Victoria, I might say, well, do you know what, we're actually in Epsfleet now, or we're in London now. I mean, we've already set up a monthly Writing for Wellbeing workshop in Swanscombe. So although it's not in Dartford, it's not far from Dartford, it is still up the road. But we are slowly going out. But I really love the idea of building our community at home first and then bringing people in.
Yeah, I was imagining a tour, you know, like you take a show on the road. You could go and do a
Yeah.
tour and
Well, as I
get
say,
people in
Victoria,
other
I have
places.
many, yeah, I've got many exciting ideas that I do really want to get off of the paper,
Hmm.
from page to stage, as I keep saying.
Nice.
And it will, I believe now, I'm a lot more confident this year than when I was last year, because last
Yeah.
year I didn't know a lot of the stuff and I needed to learn a lot.
And you needed
And
connections as well. What's
yeah.
happening with your radio show then? It's fortnightly. You're still running that, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we've taken a little bit of break in October because I'm going on holiday, but we had one at the beginning of October and then we're going to have one at the end of October.
Mm.
But they do usually run every fortnight, where we have incredible services, people, authors, singers, all sorts of people come onto the radio and they share their service. So what they do, how it might help somebody in the community, how it could support people, what they can learn, and we invite people on to share that hope, to share that service. It's
Mm.
mainly about inspiring, and sharing hopeful stories and services that can
Mm.
help people.
And
So
how do
yeah,
people find that? Where is your radio
so
show?
yeah, yeah. So it's at Valley Park Radio, which is connected to Dartford's Darren Valley Hospital. If you want to listen to those sort of things, again, you can head on over to Hope on Prescription and you can see when we're up next, what's coming on soon. But you tend to be able to tune into Valley Park Radio through valleyparkradio.org, and then you can just choose how to listen. You can connect online or through Alexa,
Mm.
and that's on a Thursday, normally once a fortnight. But our next one, seeming as we're here, our next one will be on Thursday, the 30th of October.
That's
It
brilliant. Well,
is.
thank you for that. All I can say is good luck. I think it's really exciting that you've actually achieved so much, and I hope everybody can put their hands in their pockets or come up with ideas how you can get funding. And I hope if anybody's out there and you've got a business and you would like to help people find hope, because we all know what the situation in the world is at the moment. Hope is important for all types of people. And I think that Gemma's doing a great job, Jemma. You're doing a really great job. And I think if you can find a way of contributing to Gemma's cause, helping her to set up that festival next year would be amazing. And watch out for some more publications. And maybe there'll be a poetry book or two coming up, an anthology or something.
Absolutely. And if you want to connect with us and see about any updates or things that we've got going on, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Hope on Prescription, just to keep updated and in the loop. But yeah, please, in any way you think you might be able to help, or in any way you think you might want to engage, please
Yes,
come along. Please come
yes.
along. It's fantastic work, and it's the people are telling me it's fantastic work now. It's not me telling you to trust me. I've got evidence now.
That's what you need. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for coming along then, Jemma. And go connect with Jemma. Do find her on her radio and on her website. And as I said, if you've got any help or ideas about donations or finding funding, perhaps you know a company that supplies funding once in a while for creative ventures, that'd be great. So cheerio then. Thank you very much, Jemma. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.